right, Democrats are facing a major problem going into the midterm elections. Independent voters are abandoning their party in droves. Now, the combined results of recent AP and GFK polls indicate that a mere 32% of independents want the Democrats to retain control of Congress in November. Ouch. Now, that figure is especially startling, given that 52% of independents voted for Barack Obama back in the 2008 election, while just 44% went with John McCain. So it just goes to show that the Anointed One does great things for the Democratic Party. He makes people flee it. And joining me now with reaction to this exodus is the governor of the great state of Minnesota, who recently made a visit to Iowa, sparking some interest about his plans for 2012. Tim Pawlenty is with us. Governor, welcome back.
Good to be with you, Sean.
All right, what do you make of these poll numbers? And by the way, Senator Schumer says the voters are sour, and Barbara Boxer said they're grumpy. Is it that we're grumpy or sour, or is there something else in play here?
Well, I think there's something else in play, and that is it's not surprising. The American people, including independents, don't like to be played for suckers. They don't like to be sold one thing and have something else delivered. That's what happened with the election of President Obama. He ran as somebody who was going to be reasonable, perhaps even pragmatic, and now his true liberal ideology is coming out as he's governing as a misguided liberal. And the independents don't like it, the country doesn't like it, and to make matters worse, instead of focusing on one of the key issues facing the nation and key concern, which is jobs and the economy, he's given us the government takeover of health care and promoting mosques near Ground Zero and other misguided initiatives. So, of course, they don't like him.
You know, I don't even think it's liberal. I think he's radical. I think he's taken a very radical agenda. He's shown no willingness to compromise, and he has this uncanny ability to go against the will of the American people. Do you think he's tone deaf? What do you think it is?
Well, I think, first of all, he's clueless on a number of key issues of our time, including the economy. We need to be growing this economy. We need to be lightening the burden for our entrepreneurs, our dreamers, our designers, our innovators, our inventors, our risk takers, the people who can get the private economy going. Instead, he's layering on burdens. And then number two, Sean, I don't think he has the depth of experience to run a large, complex organization, particularly in crisis, and it's getting away from him.
What is your take on his statements on Friday about the Ground Zero mosque?
Well, I think it's another example of him playing the role of law professor, as you've noted and others have noted. This isn't about the technical, hyper-technical legal issues. This is about basic decency, judgment, respect, and appropriate recognition of the tragedy and the crisis that was 9/11. And to suggest that this somehow is going to be, lawyered up and we're going to hide behind, his legal arguments. We can have a great debate about the legal arguments, but it's not about that. It's about being sensitive, being respectful, and having good judgment about not putting a mosque within 2 blocks of Ground Zero. Anybody with common sense can see that.
Is it just about the location? Is it also about the imam?
Well, the Imam Rauf is somebody who has gone around the world, and including in the United States, and made statements that are derogatory, negative, dangerous towards us, towards our national security interests. And to have him on the United States payroll is disgusting. He should not be being paid by the United States or any of his allies. And to have him be the leader of the not just this movement or this mosque, but then to hire him through the State Department and send him around the world on our behalf is ridiculous. I mean, it is quite dangerous and quite concerning.
All right, let's talk a little bit, if you don't mind, about your future. It seems that a lot of prominent Republicans have been making trips to, let's see, Iowa. Was it for the fried Twinkies? Was it for the funnel cake? Is it for the fairs? New Hampshire.
Well, Sean, if you had the deep fried cheese curds and those pork chops on the grill, you'd know why we go there.
I've had the pork chops and I've had the deep fried Twinkies, as is probably obvious by my 30 chins that I have. I love the Iowa Fair. I've been there. But the question is, why are you going to the fair?
Well, I'll tell you, when I was going there, I asked an Iowan that morning, I said, I'm going to the state fair. You got any advice for me in terms of eating or what to do at the fair? And he looked at me and said, I'll tell you what my favorite thing to do is. I said, what is it? He said, drink Bud Light. A little early in the morning for Bud Light.
Well, wait a minute.
But now, Iowa...
I'm watching you on the screen eating here. Well, I don't know what you were eating there, but it looked either like a fried Twinkie or a funnel cake, Governor.
Well, we ate just about everything. The First Lady, Mary, and I did. But, we were down trying to help candidates. Sean, if you want to see some of the video from the trip, it's at timpawlenty.com. But I'm running around the country trying to help candidates for 2010. But obviously, I've got a pack, and we're trying to influence the debate for 2010 and maybe beyond. We'll see. We'll decide that early next year.
All right, Governor.